I have the best spring and summer hairstyle, and it is what you're seeing right now. This is a hybrid install, ladies. This is a sew in the back, braids for the leave out. It's good, good. Go get you a notebook and let's get into it. Want to do is a shout out Ywigs. Thank you so much to Ywigs for sponsoring today's video. Okay, so when you receive your hair, it's going to be in this little drawstring bag. I absolutely love these. These are perfect for storing your hair and when you're traveling to the braiders to get your hair installed. So first up, let me show you guys the deep wave wefts that I have in the back of this install. All right, so here is the deep wave bundles that I have installed in the back. I have 2 of these bundles in the back. I ordered 3, not really knowing how much I would use, but my stylist used 2 of these. And when I tell you this hair is full from the top of the weft all the way down to the ends, I mean, look at that. You are getting your money's worth when you shop with Ywigs. They have a lot in each bundle. So yeah, I have 2 bundles in the back. I did wash this hair. It comes, I'll show you the boho hair itself because I did not wash that hair, but I did wash the bundles for the back. All right, so here is the hair that I used for the boho portion. As you can see, there is no weft at the top of here. So what your braider is going to do is separate these out. And this is what's going to be kind of interworked into the synthetic hair within your boho braids. All right, y'all, now that we have kind of gotten through exactly the type of hair that is in my head and where it's from, let's get into the actual install. So I made sure to kind of get the foundation for you guys when I was with my braiders. My braiders are at Wakanda Hair Braiding Shop. So shout out to my family over at Wakanda Hair Braiding. When I tell you they don't miss, they are the best in these Atlanta streets, the best. You see the results. Okay? All right. So I knew I was in good hands there. I've never done the style and my stylist had never done the style either. So I provided her a couple of pictures and this is what we landed on for my install. So on the very back, as you can see, I have 3 rows of boho braids, just so that if I pull my hair up, you still get the illusion that my hair is fully braided all the way through, meaning there's knotless braids all over my head. Okay, so there's 3 rows in the back. There's a singular row of braids on the side, and then there's braids here in the front. So I guess the easiest way to describe what I'm attempting to say to you guys is if you've ever received a sew-in and you've left leave out, all you're simply doing is braiding up your leave out, okay? However, the portion that you're leaving out is going to be much greater than that of which you would leave out for a sew-in. Hopefully that makes sense. And the pictures and the video should kind of go hand in hand with that. So again, once you and your stylist get this foundation off, you're off to the races. The boho braids aren't really anything new as far as how to install them, but I feel like getting this down is key. All right, so I've gotten a little bit closer so that you guys can, number one, see the hair up close, but then also kind of get an idea on what I was talking about as far as how this hair is installed. So if you pull the hair up, as you can see, I have 2 to 3 kind of rows on the front. And then I have an actual sew in here in the back. Now let me show you. Okay. This is all my hair that was left out, that was braided up. And then as you can see in here, there is the sew in. Hopefully you guys can see that. All right, and so this is also hair provided by Ywigs, but this is all loose hair. There is no braids, no synthetic hair, no braids or anything. It's just a traditional sew in back here and then the braids here. What it allows me to do, like I was telling you, I have braids all along the sides here and then braids in the back. So if I pull this style back, you can't tell that there is a sew-in. And that, my girls, is the point. Now, in the beginning of this video, I told you guys that this is the best style for spring and summer. And I want to kind of explain that to you so that it's not just a dramatic intro, but I promise you it is the best iteration of boho knotless braids. Reason being is because you are going to be able to care for the hair that's in the sew-in much better, okay? Because you don't have to have the braids, your detangling process is going to actually be faster. And because that is the majority of your head, you're gonna have more control on the outlook of the hair. So you're gonna have nice, fluffy hair in the back, and it's always going to be that way. You know what I mean? Hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. Those of you who have had boho braids before, you know that it gets a little bit difficult detangling these small strands within the hair because they're on a braid. So you can't really just brush it through. You kind of got to individually separate each strand and tend to it that way. So having the sew in the back and being the majority of your install is really, really, really going to help you with the upkeep of the hair. The next thing is this install is so super lightweight. Okay, I am a girly. I have a head full of thick hair. And so when I put braids in of any sort, I have a head full of braids, and it kind of feels not necessarily heavy, but it limits me in my styling. So I don't like to put much tension on my hair, which is why I choose knotless braids to start with. But when there's a lot of it, I don't do much updo styles and pulling my hair up because it's just so much hair. With this install, I feel like I can be a little bit more versatile with my styling because it's so much lighter in the back. The next reason why this is the best style for spring and summer is simply because of its longevity compared to your traditional boho knotless install. Me personally, I don't like to keep my boho braids up any longer than 4 to 6 weeks, right? However, I'm the type of person that with a really, really good sew-in install, I can keep my sew-in for 2 months, so 8 weeks, a full 8 weeks. What this style allows you to do is wear it for a full month, keep your install in the back, take down your knotless braids, wash, condition, blow dry your hair, and then go back to the braiding shop to get those braids back in. So you know how we used to take our top of our braids out, you know, and then go get a touch up. Maybe it's our birthday, we have plans, we don't want to completely take our hair down, right? This style really leans into that frugal mentality because you have such an anchored base with the sew-in in the middle. I'm telling you, it's goals. So before we get into the products that I'm using in this hair, I did want to quickly go over the actual boho portion of the hair. I go through this in all of my videos, but I don't know if you guys are viewing for the first time, if you're coming back. So I like to describe how the Ywigs hair is intertwined into the boho braid. Just something for reference if you're styling your own hair or if you're going to a stylist. So the braid itself is synthetic hair. Okay, these pieces that have been placed inside of the synthetic hair is human hair from Ywigs, and this particular pattern is their deep wave, double drawn deep wave, okay? I have several strands going down this braid. Those strands are going to help with the illusion that all of this hair is basically loose hair. So I have 2, 4, 6 pieces of the Ywigs hair in my head. And then I made sure to tell the stylist that on the ends, I wanted human hair, no synthetic hair towards the end of the braid. So I would say about right here down is the Ywigs hair. Okay, so let's get into what I use in this hair. My products change from time to time, just depending on what I have in my cabinet, but the method and the process does not. So do with that what you may. You don't have to get these products. You can get something similar. However, this is what I currently have and I highly, highly recommend. So you're gonna need a spray bottle. I would highly recommend one like this that has like a fine mist, because you see that? That is going to help you to detangle the hair. So what I'll do is spray the hair down with the water. You're not trying to soak it, you're just trying to hydrate the hair. And then I like to use this product here. Now this is only going to be used after your initial wash, okay? Only after your initial wash. Once you have washed your hair, all you're gonna do is reactivate this product with your water when you are setting your hair for the night. I also have been enjoying this product and I'm super excited to continue using this Botana oil from Botanic. I really like the way that my hair feels after a wash. My hair feels very moisturized and very, like my curls are very bouncy. And I think it's because they're happy, moisturized and getting what they need. So I'm glad that I have my scalp exposed so that I can continue with this. Now I would highly recommend some type of oil. It doesn't necessarily have to be growth oil, but it can be something that just nourishes your scalp. And right now I am fully invested in this Botana oil treatment. Now, let's go through my night routine. We're gonna try to do it in this top, girl, but baby, it keep rising. Work with me. Okay, so we're going to split the hair in 2. So this is what the hair looks like on the ends. Nice and bouncy. Look at that. Oh, it's just so good. I love the texture of this deep wave. I didn't know that I was gonna love it as much as I do, but it looks so good. All right. Normally, so since I told you guys the sew-in is kind of back here in the back, there it is. So I will take the hair, detangle it by running my hands through it, and then I'll create 2 sections. So this first section I will take my spray bottle. I'm not gonna do it now because I've already done it. I will wet the hair down, grab a little bit of the mousse. I would apply that kind of focusing only towards like mid shaft down to the ends. And then I'd twist the hair going all the way down. This is how I would sleep at night. And then also would keep it this way when I was showering or anything like that. Okay, so that's one twist. We'll take this section here, do the same thing, separate. Of course, at this time, you'd be spraying the water. You'd get your mousse, focus the mousse mostly towards the ends, and twist the hair. So essentially, I have 4 large twists on either side, or you can do 3. So it just depends on if I've gathered them evenly, it'll be 3 on either side, and then sometimes it'll be 4 and then 2, just depending on how I tossed my hair forward. So as you can see, this takes no time to do, very, very simple. However, it must be done every night. And if you don't do it every night, you can do it every 2 to 3 nights. If you get past 3 nights, you're gonna be mad at yourself, okay? You're gonna be mad at yourself because you're gonna have some major tangles. You can still tame said tangles, but you know, doing this process is so super easy. Again, I would twist up this side and put it all up into one of my long braid bonnets, and then that's it. That's how I sleep. All right, ladies, that is it for me this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week's video. If you did, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up. It really does help me out and helps YouTube to push my videos out to a larger audience. And if you gain something from this video, subscribe, because I have so many hair content videos to come, whether I'm doing it myself as a kitchen stylist or if you're going to a trusted stylist here in Atlanta. Baby, I like to keep my head done. Okay, I'm one of those ones. Anywho, subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next hair video. Bye, y'all.